Good morning, and welcome to the Universalist Church in which love is the spirit. We're glad you're here, whether you're here in our sanctuary today or anywhere in the world on our live stream. I'm Joe Wilson, one of your representatives on our Board of Trustees. If you're a visitor, we hope you'll sign one of our guest books at either entrance to the sanctuary or visit our webpage, westhartforduu.org, to learn more about us. There, you can use the contact page to get onto our electronic mailing list, which is the best way for us all to stay connected. We look forward to helping you become part of the Universalist Church. I want to point out just a couple of things that are happening today that are in your order of service. At 11:30 today, there will be a capital campaign meeting in the boardroom, and 11:45, another in the series 5 Wishes will be happening in the Brown Program Center. We'll also have fellowship through Zoom and in Fisk Hall after worship, and we hope you'll join us. This might be a good moment for gathering with community for something that lifts our hearts. If you need help finding your way to Fisk Hall for our fellowship hour, any member of the congregation will be happy to help you. Just look for someone wearing a Universalist Church name tag, or follow the herd, or follow your nose for the smell of coffee. It's right back there. You can find the link for Zoom fellowship in your weekly news or our Breeze calendar. If you aren't getting the weekly news, please do sign up for it on our website. And now, I invite you to take a moment to make your mobile phone silent, turn off your email, put away your keyboards, and settle in for worship.
That's my invitation for the Chalice lighting family to arrive. Good morning and welcome. I invite everyone, especially those tuning in via technology, to join us as we light our chalice this Sunday morning. So what you do is you light it from there, and then you stick it in there. Just run it around the top. Paul. Yeah, it should light. Run it close. There you go. Okay, because the oil's in the filter. I know. We cheat. We don't have a wick. As this small light becomes much brighter and full, may it remind us exactly how our true purpose flows and from where it comes. It begins deep within our own being and then grows as we focus our life energy into our chosen life purpose. The song that our children sometimes sing to us, "This Little Light of Mine," reminds us of our collective purpose. Even a tiny light, a very tiny light, can become very, very expressive of love and hope in the darkness. May this chalice flame, in its brilliance, Paul did a great job here, remind us of how powerfully purposeful we are as a collective, how powerfully purposeful we are as a communal presence that emanates love all around us. Blessings on this new day to all of you. Our opening hymn is hymn 1008, "When Your Heart is in a Holy Place," in the turquoise hymnal. Please rise in body or in spirit in this sanctuary or wherever you find yourself on this glorious morning. And feel free to get into the rhythm of this song, because it is fabulous. Please join me now in speaking the words of our affirmation, our covenant, as printed in the order of service, so that we can expand the grace within this holy place. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Please be seated.
At this time, I'd like to invite all of our kids to come up and join me on the steps. Now we're on. I think I turned it on. Did I turn it on? Okay. There's more room up here. You want to sit there? Good morning. How do you feel today? Did you all lose an hour of sleep? Yeah, me too. Are you feeling a little tired? I am. You feel great? You feel tired? Yeah, me too. I want to introduce somebody very special today. We have a special guest. Can everybody turn and say hello? This is Ree, and Ree is part of an organization called Discovering Amistad. Who here, and this is a question for everyone in the congregation, who here has heard of the Amistad? A lot of people. Can somebody, maybe it could be somebody in the congregation, tell me what was the Amistad? It was a slave ship and there was a rebellion, that's right. You guys have a very special treat today. You guys are gonna get to learn a little bit more about the Amistad. I'm gonna have Ree introduce herself and tell a little bit about what her organization does. And then we're all gonna go into the program center and we're gonna get to do some really cool activities. Does that sound good? All right.
Thank you, Hannah. Well, first, I just want to recognize Reverend Joy Christi, and I just want to recognize all of you in the congregation. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Rishima, but you can call me Ree, and I will be talking about the Amistad story. So the Amistad story talks about 53 Africans that were kidnapped from Sierra Leone, and they fought for their freedom on the ship, and the ship ended up off the coast of Long Island, and they brought the ship to Connecticut, where they had to fight for their freedom in the courts. And so this story is a story about hope, it's a story about perseverance, it's a story about being courageous. And so today in our lesson, we're going to learn about what it means to be courageous, what it means to be brave, right? And so this is a powerful, powerful story. We travel all around Connecticut and outside of Connecticut, and we tell this story, this brave story of these brave Africans. Now, this story is a Connecticut story. It's history, so we should know about our Connecticut history. We're going to learn about John Quincy Adams, who was an abolitionist, and how the abolitionists and the Africans worked together. They worked together to obtain their freedom. Do anyone know what the Amistad means? Yes. That's right. And so it means friendship. And so we're going to learn about what it means to be a friend. Do you guys have friends? Yeah, you have a friend? Okay, you have a bestie? Yeah? Okay. So we're going to have a lot of fun. We have some activities. We have a video. So we're going to have a great time learning about the Amistad story. Thank you, Hannah, and thank you, congregation and Reverend.
Please join me in singing our children out. It is "We Will Keep a Place for You."
Our voluntary offering, the sharing of our resources for our shared work as a religious community, is a spiritual practice for us. By offering our time, talent, and treasure to this community, we help serve the members, friends, and our wider community. As part of this service, we share our general offering each week with organizations that do work in the world that brings us ever closer to creating that beloved community. This month, we share our offering with the Pink Haven Coalition. Pink Haven is a collective organization. It's a collective of organizations and individuals who are committed to trans liberation and joy and growing community defense, mutual aid, and alternative systems of care for gender-diverse peoples. In response to the increasing hostile legislative environment in the United States, with more than 500 legislative acts in the last year seeking to eradicate transgender people from public life, Pink Haven is working together to create networks of safety and direct support for trans folk and their families, those that need to relocate, to access health care across state lines, or stay as safe as possible exactly where they are. To give electronically, please use the QR codes on your order of service, the links in the description if you are viewing through video, or those on our website to make your donation to this offering. Here in the sanctuary, our offering will now be gratefully received. I gratefully receive these gifts that represent your hard work and treasure to share with the greater community and with this community so that we can work continuously toward becoming the beloved community we desire. Amen and blessed be. Today we're not sharing a reading in between. We're going to share another song. Why? Because I'm a musical addict. So, the hymn is hymn number 158 in your gray hymnal, Praise the Source of Faith and Learning. Now, please join me in singing our doxology. Told you I was a music freak. Please be seated. As I promised in passages that you received, the memorial service for Joan Bogert Brigham will be held here in our sanctuary on April 5th at 1 p.m. If you have any concerns or questions about that, do not hesitate to get in touch with me. It has been another week of uncertainty, unethical actions, in my opinion, and unrelenting changes. It is shaking some of us to our cores, and others are on the brink of wondering what can be done, if anything. In our moments of silence together today, may we hear the breath of each other and recognize that we are here, that we are breathing. We are breathing the same air and living in the same sacred space. And above all, we are supporting one another in building our beloved community and expanding it beyond these walls. We do that with each and every breath we take, with each and every step we take. Please don't lose sight of that. Please join me now in intentional moments of silence. May we share our thoughts, prayers, and reaching out to check in with one another as this coming week unfolds. Let us deliberately continue to live love is the Spirit, loudly and proudly. Please join me now in singing Spirit of Life.
Our first reading is from A New Purpose by Ken Dykewall, Ph.D., and Daniel J. Cadley. Seeking a meaningful life is part of what makes us human. It's why volunteers drive ambulances and fight fires, why donors give blood and pledge their organs, why moms and dads coach Little League and serve on community boards, why professionals mentor those learning their trade or craft, and why you work at the soup kitchen or raise money for your place of worship. Happily, there's no imperative to be rich or even religious before stepping up to a life of purpose. There's probably nothing more important to our daily well-being as having a sense of purpose about everything we do. It's an attitude, and you can adopt it and find it in the simplest routines. All too often, people assume that they're going to be doing something important that's got to be on a grand scale. But many subtle or even small actions can have great purpose too. This may sound trite, but I assure you that it's possible to contribute something to the world and feel better about yourself through the most basic, everyday acts. For example, you can eat with purpose. I'm not kidding. You can change your experience simply by thinking about the food you put in your mouth. Or you can read with purpose. Choose novels and movies and lectures and art exhibits and columnists that make you think and will challenge your assumptions and open your mind to new possibilities. Or you can travel with purpose. I have a phrase that I use when traveling: get off the map. Just once. During every trip I take, I like to venture a little further than the tour guide or the trip planner had scheduled for us. I sometimes have to push myself, temporarily leave my comfort zone. But getting off the map leads to unexpected, joyful learning experiences. They expose me to things that I don't know and understand and help me redefine my place in the world. Okay, you get the idea. You can bring responsible and generous behavior to just about everything you do and turn simple things into significant moments that enhance your life. This is the essence of purpose, and it isn't all that hard to find. Our second reading is by Brene Brown from her webpage written August 31st, 2020, titled Pressing On with Purpose. When I read the heartbreaking news that Chadwick Boseman's death on Friday night, I immediately rewatched his commencement address at Howard University. This line grabbed me by the shoulders the first time I heard it, and it grabbed me again this weekend. Purpose is an essential element of you. It is the reason you're on this planet at this particular time in history. Your very essence is wrapped up in the things that you are here to fulfill. Whatever you choose for a career path, remember the struggles along the way are actually meant to shape you for your purpose. Reconnecting with this wisdom this weekend was a God moment for me, especially hearing it from a hero who has brought us so many heroes. I needed the reminder about purpose so deeply for many reasons. One of them is related to what's happening in the world and on social media right now. I am here for my purpose. I'm not here to make people comfortable or to be liked. My purpose is to know and experience love. This means excavating the unsaid in the world and in me. Knowing and experiencing love means calling shame, fear, dehumanization, and injustice by their birth name, lovelessness. It means finding love in beauty, art, music, and nature. It means not turning away from pain or working pain out on other people. Knowing and experiencing love requires making connections between experiences and emotions that often feel a million miles apart. And for me, love always requires living into courage and faith. I'm here for love, and I'm not changing course. Chadwick Boseman ended his commencement speech at Howard University by inspiring graduates to press on with purpose and offering God's blessings. I'm going to take that glorious advice and press on with purpose.
I begin my reflections with you this day, noting that they hold a distinct bias. It's the bias that calls me in my moments of stillness. It's the bias that calls me when I walk amidst the lovely, unique flakes that are not falling now, thank God, and speak to me of sanctuary, my own inner sanctuary. I begin with a story that has spoken to me over the last month. As you all are aware, I am not only your pastoral care minister, but I'm also a liberal Catholic priest. And my ministerial work always challenges me to keep aware of the latest information, not only about aging, about spiritual care for elders and UU values and our principles, but also my deep abiding connection to my Adrian Dominican religious sisters, who were the foundation for who I am standing here today and who I continue to become through my daily life. In going over all the materials, one of the stunning pieces was an article about the longevity of religious women. So this is my story. The premise of that article was that religious women, known as nuns, N-U-N-S, in international arenas, live longer because they have a valued purpose. They focus on a specific ministry and then work within that focus. The author of that article, Anne Corwin, and the article is in Yes Magazine if you want to read it at some point, posits in her website introduction these words, which I loved. The good news is that you don't have to live in a convent to do the things that keep these nuns happy and healthy. And further notes, I have spent 11 months living in a Catholic convent as an anthropologist, researching how the nuns' social and linguistic practices affect their experiences as they age. During this time, I recorded their prayers, interviewed them about their relationships, and followed them as they cared for each other in both small and big ways. My work is part of a growing body of research conducted during the past 2 decades that has begun to uncover why nuns are so happy and live so long. What brought me to re-examine this article is my deep interest in understanding and wanting to share with all of you the concept of purpose of life. And if you start reading the literature, you're going to find you have a lovely acronym for purpose of life. It's P-I-L, all capitals. Several renowned elders have spoken about purpose. Eleanor Roosevelt noted, "The purpose of life is to live it, to taste experience to the utmost, to reach out eagerly and without fear for newer and richer experiences." Oliver Goldsmith gave us this reflection about how to recognize purpose. He said, "Life is a journey that must be traveled, no matter how bad the roads or how bad the accommodations." And one of our UU famous writers and fellow Harvard alum, Ralph Waldo Emerson, I imbibed him because I lived in his room at Harvard. "The purpose of life," he says, "is not to be happy. It is to be useful, to be honorable, to be compassionate." to have it make some difference that you lived, and you lived well. In examining purposeful living, you can go all the way back to Socrates. It's a concept that has been with us as humans through our lived experiences and in our searching to allow those experiences to change us for the better each and every day. Going back to the nun's longevity and perhaps examining our own purposeful living, Anne Cowan noted 6 aspects that gave grounding to the nuns' purposeful lives. These are, and there is no order to these. 1, keep moving. 2, practice positive emotions. 3, maintain community. 4, it's never too late to face death. And 5, let go of attachments. And finally, have a purpose and work for it. The aspect of keeping moving is definitely referencing the physical part of our humanity. And according to Anne's studies, which I disagree with a tad, nuns are on their feet all the time. I'm sorry, but they do sleep, they do sit down, they do pray, they're not always standing on their 2 feet. But during the day, the nuns she worked with, who were often teachers and nurses, and in the mornings and the evenings, they usually visited each other. So from her vantage point, they were on their feet. I dare say you, if you are a mom or a dad, or a grandparent or a great-grandparent, and engage with your extended family or your immediate family, you too are moving. Sometimes whether you like it or not. And it's not just physical moving, it's interior moving. Practicing positive emotions, Anne outlines this. Basic emotions can have a big impact on well-being, and it's remarkable how much we can shape them through practicing them. Research has found that emotions like happiness, anger, fear, and sadness affect our heart rate, our blood pressure, our immune system, and even how well we digest the breakfast we had this morning or not. Nuns enjoy the benefits of positive emotions because they pray daily. They stop. They reflect. They show loving kindness, joy, and compassion. And so do Buddhist monks. And so do you-yous. You're here. You're breathing. As we enjoy our daily lives, injecting positive emotions can be a simple action. Telling someone how important they are in your life, complimenting them, allowing a friend to cry on your shoulder because it was a bad day. Or taking a few moments and telling someone a joke just because they didn't look like they were really smiling. So you told a joke, it was a dud, but you all laughed anyway. Expressing your feelings in a gentle but firm way when you feel wronged, or sharing a laugh because of a silly mistake you made, all help purposeful living. Again, I'm not asking all of you here to go to a nunnery. What I'm merely pointing out that having a defined purpose gives each one of us, regardless of where we work or live, a deeper meaning and focus for our life energy. At any stage of life, it's important to contribute to the world and ask yourselves how you can be helpful to others. Whether you use Anne Corwin's 6 aspects to develop a method for yourself to establish a purpose, or you have a unique method of your own that allows you to dig deeper and discover how that purpose has changed from when you were 14, or when you were 27, or when you were 34, or when you were 55, or when you hit the big 7-0, or whether you're moving into 80. The journey, where you are in life's journey, demands and calls to you in the stillness of your being, what is your purpose? Why are you here? We revamp that purpose in each of those stages of our lives. I hope, as you keep revamping, you choose to live your life purposefully. And I hope you try to live into Chad Bowman's definition of purpose. Purpose is an essential element of you. It is the reason you are on the planet at this particular time in history. Your very existence is wrapped up in the things you are here to fulfill. Whatever you choose for a career path, for living out your last decade, remember, the struggles along the way are only meant to shape you for your purpose. Each one of us in this room changes and grows, as John Lennon's song so forcefully explained, in each of the stages of our lives. And therefore, our very purpose changes with those stages. These days especially, I posit it is critical that purposeful living is our superpower. It affords us inner peace and centering amidst the day-to-day struggles we are all trying to manage. This day, I challenge you to live into your purpose one step at a time. And I ask you to remember to come and be present with this community, your community, as often as possible as you keep stepping. You are loved in this community, and this is a sacred place where that love permeates everyone and everything here. So now, I send you forth to live purposefully. May it be so. Please rise in body or in spirit and sing our closing hymn, hymn 124, Be That Guide.
Be the guide who walks the saints.
Let us now speak together our unison benediction. Engage with the world in peace. Have courage. Hold on to what is good. Return to no person evil for evil. Strengthen the faint-hearted. Support the weak. Help the sufferings. Honor all beings. I wish to send you forth this day, be seated, with a purposeful blessing. It comes from the writings of Bridget Bernadette and speaks clearly to all we need to be in these moments of history. Go in peace into this day, into this world. Be a point of love, nurturing all life. Be a respite for the soul and a vessel for the light to emanate, illuminating the abundance of beauty. Go in peace. Seek right relationship. Let loving kindness cultivate your compassion. Find harmony in the chaos within your sacred vessel and allow the universe to resurrect a way through. Go in peace. Trust the process. Move forth into expanding awareness of the oneness that we be infinitely in the cosmos. Blessings as you be.